Steve, your hair looks fine, so I think we're good there. But make sure everybody else that whatever you do is going to live forever on YouTube now, and you don't want to do anything silly. So, Dale, I'm muting you. Okay, let's see what else we got. Oh, we have 2 pages worth of people. Mr. Corner in the Market in Bozeman is here. I like that. Excellent. Haley Clausen. Who's Haley Clausen? Kelly Maves. Steve, you'll be excited to know that we do have a couple people already in the Kingston Lane loop, and so maybe they'll add some things or maybe not. I don't know. Kelly, I think, is part of it, and I think Christy Reese is in Kingston Lane already. We had an agent in Sun Valley just sign on earlier in the week, not knowing we were doing this. So, but we've already got some experienced agents in the house, so that might be good. Awesome. Dustin Spike. Hi there. You've got great initials. I know that. Being Derek Svensson, I'm always a fan of anyone with the initials DS. But how are you doing, sir? Okay, excellent. All right. Okay, we are recording, so I'm gonna get going. Make sure you're muted. Can we close the door, please? Make sure you're muted unless you have something to say, but we don't want any background noise. As you know, Zoom picks up everything, and it can be pretty obnoxious. So Haley Clausen, you're not muted. Dustin, if you don't know how to mute yourself, just hover over your screen, and at the bottom left, a mute button pops up, and you can click that. If you do have a question, you can throw it into the chat. Let's not interrupt Steve as he's unveiling some things about Kingston Lane. But as always, before we get to that, I'd like to give shout-outs to people who did big deals in the last week, company-wide. For us, a big deal is 500,000 and over. There were only a few, but there were a couple good ones. So just real quick here, Donna in Telluride closed something for 725,000 or so. Nice job, Donna. Jen Colson continues her amazing. Who's vacuuming? Okay, that's why we mute ourselves. Whew. Jen Colson closed something for 739. Great job, Ms. Colson. Dale Beatty in the commercial department in Grand Junction, 1.6. And just yesterday, our broker here in Sun Valley, Deborah Sievers, closed on a $2.125 million estate up in Elkhorn. She is the queen of Elkhorn. Great job, everybody. Keep up the good work. That's all I really want to say about anything, because Steve's got tons of stuff, and I'm thrilled to see such a big crowd here. This is a game changer, folks. What you're about to hear and what you're about to learn about our relationship with Kingston Lane is going to push you to the next level if you let it. So let's pay lots of attention, save questions for opportune moments. And Steve Olson is the president of Kingston Lane. He is right there, dead center in my screen anyway. I don't know how you did that, Steve, but that's pretty cool. And so great to have you, and can't wait to hear what you have to say for us. So Steve Olson, everybody.
Cool, Derek. Thanks for the intro. Just for clarity perspective, how much, what do we have allotted for time here?
7 hours is what we expect you to take.
I only have 4, yeah.
So from 11 to 12 Mountain Time, so 10
Perfect.
to 11 your time.
Okay, cool. Just by a show of hands really quick, whether it's company, whether it's myself, Steve Olson, or Sharon Srivatsa, my partner who is the CEO of Kingston Lane, how many of you guys have some level of context with the company or us two as individuals, like whatsoever? You've seen us speak, you're in our Facebook group, you've used it, maybe you guys know us from the TF organization, anything like that? I see a couple on this screen. Let me go to the other screen. That's totally cool. All right, cool. And I do know a couple of you guys are already Kingston Lane members. Thank you so much for those of you guys that took the leap and joined us early on, even though you guys have an amazing deal and all of you guys will turn on really quick. I've got 4 things that I want to cover for you right now. So this is recorded, and I know we're going to have a lot of questions. So I'm kind of one of those dudes that, like, if you guys have a question, just cut me off. You know, raise your hand, smoke signals, middle finger, whatever you guys want. I'll stop. I'll answer the question for you. And there are no such things as dumb questions, because there really isn't a platform out there like this. It's the most advanced, simple platform you guys will ever see. So we built it with simplicity in mind. And so you guys don't need to think, you just need to take action. But knowing that, I know that most of you guys do not have access to the platform yet. So a lot of the stuff is going to be foreign, and that's totally cool. So if you have questions, just fire them off at me and I'll answer whatever you guys have. I will share my screen in a second so you guys can see the platform. I'll take you through a whole demo. So a couple of things we're going to cover today. Intro, what is Kingston Lane? Who am I? Why should you listen to us? What's going to happen to your business? Number two, we're going to cover how to set up your user profile. Then I'll show you guys how to enter listings and buyers and why that's super important and what you get when you enter a listing and buyer. And then most of our platform is built on what we call the push button architecture, and I'll explain what that means. In order for me to show you guys the push button architecture, you need to have a good user profile and you need to have your listings and buyers and all that good stuff set up so far. Good so far? Give me a thumbs up or whatever you guys do over. Okay, cool. Awesome. I got to commend you guys. There are 38 people on this Zoom right now, and I've done a ton of these in the past. And I'll tell you, it's really hard, Derek. This is a testament to you and Todd and everybody there. It's really hard to get this many of you on a Zoom at one time. So you guys must be doing something right and love your brokerage, so I commend you for that. Cool?
I sent photos of you ahead of time, and people want to see if that was the real thing. So
yeah, so that's probably why we only have 38, not 100, right?
That's pretty much. Usually we're at 150, yeah. So
I totally believe it. Okay, so as Derek said earlier, my name is Steve Olson. I'm one of the founding members and the president of Kingston Lane. My partner, who a lot of you guys have seen as well, is Sharon Srivatsa. He is speaking today, so you're stuck with me. Just to give you guys a little bit of history, I've been licensed for about 12 years. I've sold well over 1,000 homes in my career. I was a Tom Ferry coach for 7 of those 12 years. I coached all the highest top performing teams, which is where the relationship between Todd and I started at Tom Ferry. A couple of years ago, we started a company named Native Access. That is the parent company of Kingston Lane. Kingston Lane is the nationwide platform, the product within Native Access, which you guys are going to get access to. We launched that about, I'm going to say 175 days ago with no users. We're at about 5,000 plus or minus right now. We just rolled out an amazing platform last week called Inner Circle. So we're working through all those fun growth challenges right now as well. And then the conversation between Todd and us kind of started with, hey, we've got this amazing brokerage. How can we give them more tools, more success, more leverage so they can do more business right now? So that's what leads us here today. Like I said earlier, tons of questions you guys can ask. There's maybe there's a reward if you can stump me. I hope you can't stump me because most of this came out of Sharon and I's head. So if you do, that would be a pretty cool thing if you can. And then I know there's going to be some market nuances. That's really important to note right now. There will be some market nuances that will be different than what we have. And those questions 100% give us that feedback, because the way that we've been able to grow so fast is through agent feedback and us pivoting in real time to make sure that what we're giving you guys is actually relevant to your business. So if that makes sense, really quick, everybody give me a thumbs up if I haven't confused you yet. Okay, I got most of you, if not all of you. Awesome. Thank you, Shelby. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and share my screen. I'll close all my YouTube videos. No, I'm just kidding. Hold on. Okay, cool. So another thumbs up really quick if you can see my screen. I know I can only see a couple of you now. Awesome. Robert, what's up? Julie and everybody else in there. Cole, I see as well. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so here's what you're looking at. You're looking at the dashboard of Kingston Lane. You'll notice that it's a very Amazon-like feel with a whole bunch of cards and a whole bunch of buttons where you guys get to click and have fun. From a high-level perspective, think of Kingston Lane as the ability to automate a lot of the process and marketing execution issues that you have every day in your business. Okay, so if somebody had to ask you guys, or you guys had to ask me, hey, in one line or less, what does Kingston Lane do? That's what we do. We automate and leverage all of your day-to-day process and marketing activities, okay? Some of the stuff you guys are gonna pour gas on. Some of it may not be a good fit. The good thing is everything that's in there right now, you guys have 100% access to, and here's what I mean. We have a free version of the platform, which only has these 4 cards on top lit up, and there's a pro version of dashboard, which unlocks everything and all the features on the left. The good news for all of you guys and everybody over at Coldwell Banker is you guys get access to Pro. It's all included. So there's a couple things that you can choose to pay for on top of this, but from a feature perspective, at launch, which it looks like it's going to be the middle of next week, you guys will have access to all of this out of the gate. So that's a really cool thing. Sorry, you guys are my 3rd meeting today, so hopefully my throat doesn't go. All right, so let's talk about step 2, the user profile. When you guys get onboarded, you're going to get a whole bunch of emails from us that say, welcome to Kingston Lane. You're going to get a whole bunch of spam jokes. No, just kidding, no spam. But you'll get an activation email with a password reset. Once you're ready to log in, you're going to get an email that says, hey, your Kingston Lane account's been activated. Click here to set your password. Once you set your password, you'll be taken to this screen. And I know this is recorded, but if you're taking notes, the first step that you should take is up here. You're going to click this little, your headshot's not going to be in there yet, but you'll click this circle, you'll click user profile, and you need to fill this out right here. So Derek, just so you know, the step that I'm taking you through right now, an agent would probably need to spend, assuming they already have a profile somewhere, probably 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes worth of work. It's a very simple exercise, and I'll show you why this is important right now. Move this out of my way here. Okay, so you're going to click change. You'll add your headshot right there. You're going to enter an about me. This is like your bio. Now, this is a sample account, so it's going to look a little weird, but I'll show you what a fully built-out bio looks like. You're going to create a headline. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. You'll select one of these images. From a locality perspective, none of these images are going to work for your market. So what you're going to do is you're going to select your own custom image, upload right here. Derek, this might be one image that you guys give to your brokerage. Everybody uses the same one, or the agents can use their own, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second, okay? There's a secondary image. How many of you guys, and I can only see a few of you, how many of you guys have a custom video about your brand, your brokerage, your team, your business, like where you serve, all of that stuff? Anybody have like a pitch video that you send your clients?
Most of our agents have a video that they get when they get onboarded about them and with their talking head on it. So
cool. Awesome. So we support in this field is YouTube or Vimeo. So as long as it's a YouTube or Vimeo link, you can put that link right there. And then from a market nuance perspective, if there's any text that you guys need to include in your advertising, like the BRE is required or this specific disclosure text or anything like that, you're going to paste that right there. So that's this screen. It's 4 pieces of info. When you're done with that, you're going to hit Save Profile. Then you're going to click over to User Information, and you're going to enter all this stuff. This is simple. It's name, email address, what your level is, what your address is. Hopefully you guys are not entering a fax number. I don't even know why we have that in there, but if you're entering a fax number, you're probably in trouble right now.
We're in Idaho, so fax should be raised up higher in our list.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, all that stuff. Then you're going to hit Save. You'll go over here to Business Strategy. This is where you're going to enter your goal, how many deals you want to sell, what zip codes you work, and what type of business that you have. Now, by entering past clients, online leads, open house, buyers, all this stuff, there is no feature set that triggers based on that. There are some things that we are building in the future that may tie into that, but that will not affect anything right now. Good so far? This is really it shouldn't require too much explanation, but I want to explain to you why this is super important. So if I go back over to my profile, I'll show you guys a built-out profile and what this is going to build for you right now. So this is one of our agents in Hawaii, Peggy Lynn Spiker. This background image of the pool and the ocean, that image was uploaded right here in this section. So this image, or if you choose one of our stock ones, that's where that's going to show up. Hawaii lifestyle, that headline, if you go back to your profile, that's going to be right here where it says Carlsbad Real Estate. If we scroll down and you see this big description of Peggy Lynn, that's going to be the About Me up here. All of that stuff that you put in there, that's where that's going to show up. If you have a video highlighting your business, that's where the video is going to show up. Good so far? Cool. There's a 60-second home value analyzer that's included, like a home valuation website that's included. You can use that however you want. There's nothing you need to do right here. That's automatically included. We build it automatically. No need on that. Every listing that we talk about in a second that you add is going to show up right here. So Derek, just from a point of context, how many agents in the brokerage right now already have like some level of brand ID site that's automatically provided to them right now? Is there a standard like About Me page that you guys already have?
Yeah, every agent has their own website with a home valuation thing geared to them, and so that's part of our agent package.
Okay, cool. So let me tell you guys, because what we find, most agents that come on the platform, they're already saying something, Derek, like, hey, I've already got like Boomtown, or I've got Market Leader or Conversion, or I've got this custom WordPress website, or my brokerage already supplies a site. Why do I need this? And the answer is it's included, right? So a lot of you guys may not choose to use this site. I'm just saying that when you fill out your profile, this will be automatically created for you. And we don't push this publicly anywhere, meaning there's no advertising out there that we're going to drive traffic to. What a lot of agents that are with us, Derek, what they're choosing to do is they're putting this together as like a sub brand of what they serve. Here's what I mean. You may have some agents on the brokerage that have an average sales price of, and I'm making this up, let's say it's 400,000. And for 2019, they have a goal to step up to the luxury market. Maybe in your market, that's 900,000 plus. So what they're doing with the secondary brand ID page is they're creating a brand around what that looks like in the $900,000 market, so they don't have to worry about changing their existing site. So that could be another way that you guys take advantage of the site. That's literally all that you need to do to build this. There's nothing else that needs to happen. This auto-populates, the listings auto-populate, your buyers will automatically auto-populate. The footer, all that stuff, it's automatic. If you use it, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But just know that once you do this, that site will auto-populate. Good so far. I'll pause for questions. And as I'm sharing screen, I can only see 5 of you. So if some of you guys are like in a panic mode going like this, I can't see you. So Derek, I'll pause for questions. Let me know what I can answer.
That's great. Steve, how have you seen a couple agents leverage this page? I know you talk about the difference between luxury and your regular site, but what have you seen that's been like, oh my God, that agent just knocked this one out of the park with this page?
Well, so here's the cool thing about this. If you look at this page, if you think about most real estate pages, like again, if you use a lead generating website, you've got your logo up top, you got a whole bunch of menu options, you got a big search bar, you've got all these properties. You've got a lot of stuff that the consumer can click on, so they can go a lot of different places on your site. That's good for those type of sites. This one's really controlled, meaning I have the ability to dictate the brand that I want them to understand on one page. And even if I click the menu bar, all of this, all these links, these were links that Peggy Lynn added in here. So if you click the MLS link, that's actually going to take you to their Boomtown site. Now, you don't have to do that. That's just an option. So you get to control where that consumer will go. Most of them are using this from the perspective, Derek, that I just said. They're looking at to serve like the market they want to go into without having to make the changes of the existing site right now.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so here's why that's important. You may use the brand ID site, you may not. It's totally okay either which way. You guys probably took note that even though there's a little insignia up here of Kingston Lane, there's no Kingston Lane branding on this whatsoever, other than the company who put it on. It's not up top. You can brand it however you want. So that was really important to us that you guys can take full ownership of that. Once you create your profile, if you go over to the dashboard, you'll see the first card is push button agent website. For any reason you guys want to use this, it's really simple to get to it. You're just going to click this button right here, visit website, and that will open up your website for you. Now you can tell that I use the standard photo, Carlsbad Real Estate. I don't have any of the social links in here, so this would be an example of what an incomplete property looks like, or an incomplete profile looks like. The difference between barely filling it out and actually creating a really good brand ID, the difference between both of those. So same exact site, incomplete data, complete data. It's a big difference, right? And then, like I said, it's going to be Kingston Lane /agents / your name, and then there's going to be a weird little key after that. You can mask your domain with this. That's totally okay if you want to do that, but that exists. I would say, Derek, if I had to take a guess about how many agents on the platform actually use this day to day, I'd probably say 15%. Some of them just don't run websites. They're legacy agents that are doing luxury deals, and maybe they're not web-based. It's very network-based. This is just a really good tool for them to take advantage of. But it's important because as I take you through the rest of the feature set, the consumer will have the ability to click over there. And I don't know how many of you guys are spending money online right now in regards to lead generation. Hopefully all of us are, at least from a video perspective. You can run a really good ad to a really good squeeze page with a really good conversion and get a really good result. But if the client can't vet you, meaning they can't do research and see completed profiles, it's going to impact your lead conversion significantly. So just think about that, okay? All right, so that's your user profile. Like I said, Derek, we're probably talking a couple minutes worth of work total when they log in. Let's talk about listings and buyers. One of the biggest parts of feedback that we got was, hey, I need you to make it a little easier for me to add listings. I need you to make it easier for me to access those listings, coming soon's pockets and buyer needs. So what we did is you'll notice on top of the dashboard, we have listings and sales up here, coming soon's right there, pocket listings right here, and buyer needs over here. Derek, in your market and all the markets you guys serve, are pocket listings okay?
Maybe not with that terminology, but yes.
Yeah, so just think like unpublicly MLS properties, right?
Correct.
Okay, so just as an asterisk, if you guys are taking notes, when you enter a pocket listing, there is no public display of that pocket listing. Cole, do you have a question at all? Oh, no, we're good. Okay, I thought you were raising your hand. So when we enter a pocket listing, that doesn't display publicly anywhere, so there's no violation in different market stuff. It's just good to know. Derek, how about coming soons?
We can do lots of stuff with that, so those are all okay.
Yeah, cool. So coming soon, I would say if I had to rank the top 5 features of Kingston Lane that our clients are using that are having a lot of success with, coming soon would definitely be number 1 or number 2, and I'll show you what that means in a second. So you guys have a listing. You want to add it to Kingston Lane because remember, a lot of our features start with the business that you put in here. We're going to click the add button up here, and it's really simple. Remember, we're not the MLS and we're not a full disclosure site, so we don't have to ask for all the data. So it's property type, listing price, address, city, state, zip code, neighborhood, beds, baths. Listing agent's going to default to you. Regular property description and full property description. That's it. There's nothing else you need to add other than the photos and a video or a Matterport or a virtual tour. There's a space for a link on the following page. Once you hit save as draft, it will give you the ability to add all of this in there. Again, what I would do if I were you guys is I would enter the listing in the MLS first and just copy and paste some of the stuff over here. You don't need to worry about entering it twice. Type all the stuff out once and just copy and paste into Kingston Lane. I want to show you. Did you have a question? Go ahead.
I was just going to say our best practice is to do all that stuff on a document. And so you can do MLS, you can do whatever, but it lives somewhere on your computer. So remember that.
Okay, totally cool. So here's where I would start writing, because once you put a listing, there's a bunch of stuff that's going to happen automatically for you right now, okay? So let's say I've got a listing in here now. Instead of click add, I'm going to click view. So in view, you're going to see all of my pipeline right here. You'll notice we have buyer needs, pocket listings, coming soon, active listings, pending sales, and closed sales. Here's a sample one I have in here. Now, anytime you enter a client name anywhere in the platform, it's important to understand that client name is private only to you, the user. Any of the other people on the platform cannot see any of the client details. All of that is protected, okay? You don't have to enter a client name if you don't want to. It's just for your reference only. You'll notice that I have this address, price is $9.99. Commission you can enter, GCI you can enter. That's just for your reference only. That's going to affect your pipeline up here, just so you know. So let me tell you what happens when you add a listing. You've got 4 options when you add a listing, and I'm going to go through those right now. If you come up here, this is a new listing or a sale. We've got 3 versions right here, plus a couple public versions. You guys build a site. Let's go back to public here. So let's say you build the site. We're going to automatically populate this public URL right here. You're going to click that URL, and this is what that site's going to look like. So primary photo is going to be the background. Address will show right here. Price is right there. Explore. You're going to get your property description, media gallery, and then property access. That's like a little conversion thing that people can request an appointment with you. All those leads go directly to you, and I'll show you what that looks like. Media, this says all this stacks on mobile really well. Works on desktop and media. They can click this and go through a slideshow if they want. Look at all of that stuff, right? Let's say that you have how many of you guys have really picky sellers? Any of you guys suffer from that? Sellers that want to micromanage the entire process? I've had my fair share of that. So let's say you have a seller that wants to approve everything. There's a free feature built into this that you can take advantage of that. So instead of pushing it to public, you can change it to password protection. Password protected. You can enter a top secret 4-digit code. I'll just put my last 4, my social security number in here, 1111. You're going to hit save, and you're going to see this link right here change. So we're going to click that link. It's going to give me the same site, but instead of letting me in here, I've got to enter my password. So I'm going to send that to my client and say, Mr. and Mrs. Client, good news, your site is up. I need you to review it before we push it live. You're going to enter the password you gave them, hit explore, it will unlock the site for them. Once they give you an okay, then you go back in and you change it back to public and the site will be live and active. When you create a listing, it will automatically populate down in the brand ID below. It'll show up like this. So again, this will be a really good example of one that's been built out to the max, same property, same picture, property description. If you guys have a video tour, a Matterport, a virtual tour, if you add those, it will just add another card right here. So they'll be able to swipe right and left with all the cards that exist with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
really,
I can, if I've got 8 listings, but only 5 of them are, you know, of high quality, I've got a couple pieces of dirt, whatever, I can just put with the ones I want on here. And so it doesn't have everything that I own, right? Or that I list. You
can, but here's the funny thing. The listings that you don't put on here, and I don't know if those other ones, Derek, that you have that maybe don't tell a good brand story, you won't be able to run push button social ads to those properties if the listing isn't live.
That makes sense. And folks, don't worry, Steve will get to all the push button stuff here. But we're building this in order to use the awesome functions that are about to come. So
correct. Okay, so that's how that happens. So you have a couple other options. I don't know if this is, I'm gonna show you this feature anyway. I don't know, Derek, if they can take advantage of this on your platform, but give me a second and I need to drag this into another tab here. Okay, so once it's public, you're gonna notice, we're gonna hit save. The links are gonna change again. You've got a public URL, you've got an unbranded URL, and you've got a squeeze page URL. Here's what that means. Let's say that you're an agent, you just joined the brokerage, you don't have any business, you need some leverage, and you want to take ownership of other people's listings in a good way, right? You have permission to market other people's listings in the brokerage. Derek, are there agents right now actively doing that in the brokerage? Is that an acceptable process? With permission?
Question, sorry.
If I'm an agent in your brokerage, do I have the ability to ask another agent in your brokerage for permission to market their listings?
Sure, and in our system, you can grab any listing you want and send a flyer out.
Yeah. You guys are light years ahead of everybody else. Believe it or not, guys, a lot of brokerages don't allow that. They're very wary of it. So that's a good thing that you're ahead of that. I clicked the wrong link. So here's why I asked that. There's an unbranded URL right here. If I click that, it's the exact same site, but you'll notice my name was removed up here. And there's no branding at the bottom. So there's no opportunity for the other agent using that to collect leads based on that listing. Derek, what a lot of agents are using this for is they just put this in an email blast and they send it out with permission of the listing agent. So again, once you build a listing, that feature's automatic. There's no additional cost for that. You can create unlimited of these as you want. Good so far? Cool. All right, so let's talk about what happens when we run push button social ads. The third link you're going to see right here is what we call squeeze page URL, and it's the same URL, but at the end it's !smart equals 1. And when you do that, it's going to bring up this site. It's the same site, but there's a squeeze on top of it that says we're excited to show you around. They have to enter their email address, and then it says let me in, and the whole site unlocks. Now let me tell you a couple cool things about this. On mobile, this white bar takes up the whole screen. One of our mastermind guys in our mastermind group outside of real estate says, hey, you guys should add an X out button to that pop-up. And I said, no way, because people are going to X out. He goes, no, trust me, when you add safety, your conversion rate should go up with your clients because they feel that you're not trying to block them. So against my judgment, I didn't want to do this. We did it, and actually conversion went up when we added that X button. These pages, just so you guys know, they convert at about 8.3%. So those of you guys that spend a lot of money online and have questions about this or want to know how this works based on what you're originally doing right now, every 100 people that you drive to the site, about 8 of them will give you their email address. Now, just like with all online leads, you're going to get like Mickey at mickeymouse.com and dumbagent at dumbagent.com. Like that stuff happens, right? If that's just online. We're working on some other things to overlay on this. They're going to make those leads much stronger over time. You'll get access to all of that as we roll that out. But anytime we run a push button social ad, which I'll show you in a minute, we're going to drive those ads to this page. Any questions on the squeeze whatsoever?
I've never heard of the squeeze page, so that's fascinating stuff. I like the idea that adding that safety makes it more comfortable.
Yeah, and if they click it, it will unlock the site. right? That's totally cool. Before we added that, Derek, just for context, we were at about, I think, I'm thinking in history right now, I could be a little off. I believe we were at about 6.1% conversion. And then that X button, and it may be purely coincidental because we're spending a lot more money now than we ever have on traffic to these sites. It went up to 8.3. And so every time that we can do anything that increases conversion, that's just more leads for your agents.
Yeah, it made that guy on the mastermind feel pretty smart too.
Oh, totally. He knew it, right? For him, there was no risk. For me, it was a, I fight everything. So it was a good, and I'm glad we took his advice because all the agents benefit from it. So there's that. Let's talk about a different type of listing now. So when you create a listing, let's close this here. You guys know that when I click on that, you've got access to a public URL, an unbranded URL, a squeeze page URL, and then if you change this, a password protected URL. So there's 4 sites that we build for you automatically. If you guys are like me, or like a lot of other agents, you know that arguably one of your best marketing times is about 7 days before you take the listing or before the listing goes active, all the way to the day it launches. You guys all agree with that? Like that's your most valuable time in the neighborhood. That's probably when you get the most amount of calls, assuming the sign is up. Yeah? Shouldn't ask these questions because I can always see. Let me see if I can stretch this here. That would be cool. No, I can't. That's weird. Okay, so let me tell you what that looks like. You'll notice the next field is coming soon. This is really simple. Add, same thing. Listing price, address, city, state, zip code, neighborhood, beds, baths, launch date, launch time, listing agent defaults to you, and it's going to ask for 3 pieces of information. I'll show you what that means here in a second. For those of you guys that are already members with us, you know that we have a Kingston Lane Mastermind Facebook group. I did a long live on this. I think it was about 2 weeks ago about how to correctly put this together to generate the most amount of leads. You guys should all, you can join the Kingston Lane Facebook group right now. Just search in Facebook Kingston Lane Mastermind. It's a Facebook group. Just request to be added. We'll add you right away. And I think about a week and a half ago, I went live and explained how to build these really effective so they convert really high. Let's take a look at what these look like. This is what that's going to build for you. So I enter all this info in here, save and publish. Next screen is going to ask you for an image. Just so you know, even though you've got to put property type, listing price, address, all that stuff, on the actual page, it does not display any of that. It's only going to display a couple things. The headline, the subheadline, and the description down here. And when you put that timer down here that says when it's going to launch, the date and the time, it's going to create a countdown timer right here until that listing goes live. Now, don't worry if for some reason the listing gets delayed, the countdown timer will reset once you hit that date in case you don't catch it. So there's some safety there. The background image here is Irvine, California. You can use your own background image. The guys that are having the most amount of success on our platform are using the front of the house or the entrance to the neighborhood or some level of what's the word I'm looking for? Landmark in the area that everybody knows if they were to see this picture. We drive a ton of social traffic to this. This site, when written well, when you have the effective headline, the effective subheadline, the effective property description, when written well, and again, you can look at that video to learn how to do that, these sites are converting way over 10% because you guys are the only agents in the market that have access to the info on this property and you're gating that from the public. So what a lot of our clients are doing is they're running a push button social ad that I'll show you in a minute about 5 days before the listing goes live, and they're spending as much as they can because that's the easiest way to collect the most amount of leads.
Steve, I could say you could be done here and leave, and we'd be like, this is freaking awesome. Thank you very much, Kingston Lane. But there's more. That's good stuff.
Well, we're just getting started. So it's a really good, and let me give you guys a little hack. Assuming you guys are all going on listing presentations, I wouldn't wait to build this until you get the listing. What I would do, because it's so simple, you can just drive to the neighborhood and take a picture of the front of the neighborhood or a landmark. I would actually build this before I would show up to the listing appointment with your iPad in hand and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, let me show you what I put together for you in preparation for my meeting and how we're going to use this. Okay? I've done that probably at least 50 times with my own personal listing presentations and other agents that I've helped secure listings based on the platform. And we are batting 1,000 when a seller looks at this page because no other agent, this page is not hard to put together, but agents just get stuck in the execution. They can't do it. You guys can do it in a matter of like minutes, and you can do it right on your iPad. You don't even need a computer to put this together. It's really simple. Actually, you can do it right from your phone. You don't even need a computer either. And you'll notice if I shrink this down, the whole thing, it'll look a little bit different on mobile. This will be smaller, but everything stacks. We actually build everything that we build mobile first, desktop second, just so you guys know, because most of the traffic that converts right now is coming in off of mobile. Okay, any questions whatsoever on coming soon? I think Derek kind of alluded to it really quick. And Derek, feel free, if anybody else on the call is raising their hand, just interrupt me because I can't see it, and I feel bad that if people are asking questions, I'm not chiming in.
That's okay. I can only see you and the screen, so I'm in the same.
Okay, cool. So I will tell you, if there was one feature of the platform that you guys could take advantage of, like literally on Wednesday morning once we launch you guys all, I would immediately dive into coming soons. All of you are listing leads right now that are on the fence due to pricing or competition or too many listings. I would be having phone calls right now saying, hey, I just got my hands on a new technology. What if we could test the market before your home actually went live? There's a script again. What if we could test the market without your home actually having to go live, right? Because there's a whole lot of stuff that you guys can do with this. Sharon and I do a lot of Facebook Lives around how to use this at a level 10. And I'm telling you, when you learn how to pitch this effectively at the table, sellers love this page. You can win listings on this process alone. And the good news is you can create literally, you want to create 400 coming soon sites this month, you can create 400. There's no limit to this. So I'll move on. That's coming soon. And like I said, after this meeting, go to Facebook, search Kingston Lane Mastermind, request to join, go back a week and a half, watch the Facebook Live, and I'll show you guys exactly how to build a highly converting coming soon page. Okay, so now we know coming soon's pocket's really simple. Nothing's going to happen publicly with a pocket, but if you guys have an off-market property, maybe a seller just wants to take a break for a while, they want to take it off the market, but you guys still have a listing agreement in place, you can add that as a pocket listing in here. It's not going to show up publicly, but when I talk about matches in a second, that will make sense. So it's the same thing as you're out of coming soon. It's limited information. There's not even any photos. It's like 5 less fields. You entered in there, and I'll show you why that's important in a second. But if you have any pockets, it would be a good place to put that because I'll show you why that's so important in a second. All right, buyer needs. Before I get into buyer needs, really quick, I would only put a buyer need in here. And Derek, this is something that you may want to reinforce with the whole team. The only person that should go into buyer needs is somebody who is a committed, in the car looking buyer. You can put anybody you want in here, but if you want to keep this accurate, I would only put a buyer in here that is committed to you. I don't know if you guys do like buyer brokers there or how that works, however you guys get exclusivity with buyers. But once they're exclusive with you, at that point, you want to enter them as a buyer need in here, and here's how you do so. Same thing, client name, it's private to you. What zip codes are they looking in? This is really important. So if they're looking in 5 zip codes, I want you to put 5 zip codes in there. Bedrooms, baths, what square footage are they looking? It's not a range, so I would just pick the middle of it. Their minimum listing price and the maximum list price of their search, what type of buyer they are, and then you're gonna hit save and publish. This is why this is pretty cool. If I go to view, and guys, I'm clicking the shortcuts from up here. You also can go over here and click sales pipeline on the left menu bar, and it will show you all of these. So I'm gonna go to buyer needs. Now we're going through an upgrade right now, so I'm going to show you a demo of this. It's not going to show you what I wanted to show you, but know that that's a temporary thing and we'll get that back. So I have this fake buyer in here, Mike Smithtown. He's looking for a home in 92011. He's looking for 4 beds, 2 baths, 2,800 square feet. He wants to spend $1.4 million. Again, commission and GCI is only for your reference. You're going to see this little button over here called matches. Here's where this gets exciting. Now you're looking at a demo account right now, so there's none in here, but let's say there was somebody else in the Kingston Lane network. It could be at my brokerage. It could be at a different brokerage, but they're in my market or anywhere. If they have a coming soon, a pocket, or an active listing that matches my buyer search criteria, it's going to show up right here. You have the ability at one click of a button to say, connect me with this agent, and it's going to send an email to that agent saying, hey, congratulations, Derek has a buyer that matches Steve Olson's listing. Would you guys like to connect? So there's automatically a leverage factor with Kingston Lane that has nothing to do with what brokerage you're at. It matches against everybody. Remember, all the client details are private to you. So at no point, even though Derek's listing may show up on one of my buyer's matches, at no point will his private information be leaked to me. That's secure to you. Okay, so that's inter-platform. We rolled that out with our first broker that came on, Telus Properties, which Sharon founded and sold to Element. And they said, hey, it's cool to put everything in the brokerage, but what about all the off-market inventory? And we said, okay, tell us more about that. And they said, well, wouldn't it make sense if you guys match that against all the listings that weren't on the market? So that's what we did. The second tab up here is off-market. Here's what this means. We're going to pull every single home off of public record that is not listed and has not sold within a year. And we're going to display those for you right here, okay? So again, I'll give you the script around how you pitch this with a buyer, but here's what's cool about this. You'll notice there's a public deal picture up here. It'll give you the address. It'll say it's off market, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,900 square feet, so that matches my client's needs. You can click explore. This is going to open a Zillow page of that listing. This is only for your reference, no feature to there. But here's where it gets exciting. You're going to click retrieve contact information, and we're going to overlay a public data search for every one of these listings. Now, you're seeing blank right now because we're going through an upgrade as we speak, but about 40 to 60% of the time, we're going to give you their name and a combo of one of these, a phone, a cell phone, an email address, when they purchased it, and how much they purchased.
Can you get the birthday, Steve, or is this about all you're going to be able to give us?
We used to have blood type, social security number, and marital status, but we removed that because, so no.
Man, I'll get excited. Blood type.
Yeah, blood type, right? Here's the other cool thing about that. We're actually, the upgrade that we're going through will give you a lot more data than we're giving you right now, and it's actually super accurate. Derek, we have agents on the platform right now that all they are doing when they take a listing or a buyer is they put it in here and they're spending 24 hours calling every single one. I've got one agent, Derek, in 3 months, he's taken 5 listings alone. And this costs no money. This is unlimited. You guys can do as much of this as you want. So for this specific buyer need, there's 3, 6, 9, 12. We came up with 13 matches. Now keep in mind, Carlsbad, California, where I live, is a small market. A bigger market would have a lot more of these. The only limiting factor of this is we can't give you a one-click export. So they're going to have to click each one. We'll do a search for each one, and they'll go down the line. And they can send emails. They can send text messages, phone calls. What I would not do with this feature, I got to be very clear with this. What I would not do with this feature is I would not copy and paste all the emails, dump them into MailChimp, send a blast email, because you will get a lot of unsubscribes if you're doing that. If you're going to send an email, send a one-off email and be very clear how you got their email address, and you'll find that your response rate is very high. Just tell them right out, we subscribe to a service that scrubs public contact info with listings that our buyers are looking for, and your name came up. That's how I would start that email. When you start it that way, the response rate will quadruple. Because you're being open and honest while you do that. Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, so this is someone's whole lead gen strategy right here.
That's it.
This could be their business right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let me give you another script of how you use this for buyers, okay? So Derek, you and I are sitting across the table, and I'm giving you my whole buyer pitch, and eventually you give me the objection of, hey, Steve, you know what? I'm kind of talking with a couple of agents on Zillow. I've got one agent that's even offering me a discount on commission. Another one's giving me a rebate, and the other one just kind of opens doors, and they're charging less commission, or there's a little bit more of a financial incentive to go with them over you. Can you tell me why you're different? Here's the objection handler around that. And again, when you use this and you use it with confidence, it will get the consumer right through it and say, look, Derek, that makes a lot of sense, but if it's okay with you, I'd like to ask you a really simple question. And Derek would, of course, say, well, yeah, what is it? And you say, how are all of those other agents getting you access to the inventory that nobody knows about? And you stop talking. How are those other agents getting you access to the inventory that nobody knows about? And you stop talking. And 90% of the time, they're going to say, well, what do you mean? And again, you're going to pull out your iPad. You're going to open Kingston Lane. Hopefully before the buyer meeting, you've already got their buyer info put inside Kingston Lane. You're going to click on matches, and you're going to say, do you see these 14 homes right here that say public record deal match? Let me explain what this is. And you tell them why these are off-market properties, and you get contact info and all these good stuff. Well, listen, Derek, when you choose to hire me as your real estate agent, who do you think the first 14 people I'm going to call is? And they're going to say, well, these. That's exactly right. And Derek, no other agent you hire has access to this data. No other agent you hire has access to this data. Now they do. All of you guys can go out there and pay $1,800 a year and get Cole Realty info and another data source that we overlay on top of that, and you can do it, but there's so much manual labor and scrubbing that stuff. We've just put it right in front of you.
So I have a question.
Shoot.
With regard to that public record, do the buyers have access to all that contact info?
Oh, you mean your personal buyer, Robert?
Yeah. If I have a buyer and I enter them into here, and then they come in, they see this public record, can they get the seller's contact info and all that stuff?
That's a great question. So Robert, this platform is an agent-only platform, meaning that your clients will never have access to it whatsoever.
Okay, thanks.
And you're also the only agent that will have access to these specific buyers. I can't let, Robert, if you put a buyer need in here, and let's say your buyer need matches my potential listing, I can't click your matches button. I mean, I can enter my own buyer need and click matches. Anybody can do that. But this is only as you, the agent, looking at this. And again, like transparency is certainly key with your clients. So you should have no fear around telling them, now, Robert, listen, every other agent can go out there and buy a software program that gets it to them, but we've subscribed to something so exclusive, it makes it so easy that we've removed all the red tape to execution, and that's why you and I are talking today, right? Most of this, if you guys aren't catching on to this, like I'd say like 60% of Kingston Lane gives you the ability to generate more leads, more business, more leverage. But what we're really giving you the opportunity is changing the dialogue at the listing and the buyer table to make your conversion a little bit more easy so you can close more deals with less work. And when you guys join the mastermind, when you start to look at a lot of the videos that Sharon and I do, we don't really tell you like how to use the product. Most of the videos that we do are scripting around how you pitch this at the table, because most of these features, Sharon would probably tell you all of the features. Most of these features were built from Sharon and I I've been on personally at least 400 listing presentations. Sharon's been well over 250. And these were like, hey, we keep getting this objection. How do we get through this objection from a product perspective? And that's how this was built. So Robert, that was a great question. Any other questions around matches? A question that comes up a lot, Derek, is if they're on the do not call list, will that show up? Yes, if it's on the do not call list on a home number or a cell phone, it'll say in parentheses next to it, do not call list. And I mean, you guys know the rules, right? If it's not on there, don't call them because it's solicitation. But yes, we will disclose that.
Yeah, and agents are used to sending letters, and you've got the address there. There's not a do not send mail to me. So, I mean, you can leverage this in a few different ways. But I love what you said, not only, Steve, about more leads, but better conversations, better dialogues. And that's really the meat of this. You know, everyone can get a lead. You can buy it from Zillow, but how do those conversations sound? And this helps that immensely. So,
yeah, if I was able to summarize, you know, my previous coaching clients, and like I said earlier, I coach some of the biggest teams in the country. The ones that are selling 500, 600, 800 plus homes, I'm thinking of a guy in Canada. He's number one in all of Canada that I coached for years. He doesn't have any different tools than you guys have, but if you were to watch him sit down at a listing table from a language perspective, he is in a totally different world. Like he has the ability to pitch something different than everybody else with the same tool set that all the other agents in Canada have. And he's an independent broker. He's got no leverage of a bigger brand whatsoever. It's all language. That's our commitment to you guys, that as we go live, time in and time again, we'll help you with that language. And then you guys can obviously ask a ton of questions with that as well. So let's keep going because I know there's a lot. So we're good with matches, no other questions? Sounds like that's pretty simple. Awesome. Okay. So you know how to answer
a question that's not really about matches, but about teams.
Of course. Yeah.
So best practices for teams, because we have listing agents and buyer's agents. And of course, my buyer's agents are only going to need the buyer's need part, or I'm sure there's some other parts in here that they might use, but should we each be having our own account?
So Christy, the answer to that question is yes and no. So let me ask you a quick qualifying question. On your team, are you the agent on all the listings, or does all the team sign individual listings?
We have three agents on my team that do listings.
Are you the co-listing agent on all of them?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So here's how I would handle it. There is no hierarchy in regards to team leader and sub-agents built on the platform. We did that intentionally, but here's how a lot of the big teams are managing this. All the listings go in your user account. Okay, and I'll show you why that's important in a second. All of your buyer agents, the ones that represent buyers, now you can have a co-listing agent on here, Christy. So if you're the listing agent, you have a co-listing, you can add both of them, and that will show in both of your pipelines on their login and your login. all the buyer needs, your individual agents or the buyer agents would put their buyer needs in their own separate accounts.
Okay.
And I'll show you how we can route those leads here in a second.
Thank you.
So that's a really good question. Guys, those types of questions, I know you have a lot of them, so just like chime in whenever and I can answer, because most of it, not all of it, most of it we've got solved, or at least we have a workaround if it's not directly solved. Okay, let's talk about push button hierarchy. We're in the home stretch, and then I'll take as many questions as you need. And then Derek, if we have to go over, I know this is long, I will, just whatever you guys need from me, let me know.
Yeah, my account's not going to stop at noon, so I just didn't want you to have to go too long. But if this goes till 2, I think everybody will be happy. So you just keep doing what you're doing.
Cool. Home valuation lead website, really simple. Go to my website. You'll notice this is gray. I know this is totally non-traditional from everybody else. Again, I'm going to re-reference my mastermind group from before. They said, hey, I need you to change it to a gray gradient. I'm like, that's lame. We're not going to do it. Again, conversion skyrocketed. The reason why it skyrocketed is because there's no judgment on the image behind the conversion. Meaning, if I'm looking for a Cape Cod home and you show me a modern kitchen, I'm automatically out of integrity of whether I want to give you my email address or not. So we've removed that judgment right out of the gate. That's why they had us do that. That was another thing where I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't know about that, but we did it. And sure enough, conversion went up. Really similar to the same structure you guys have already seen. Enter a property address. Once they do it, it's going to go to locate. It'll say, congratulations, we found your home. Enter your email address to get the value. We're going to give you 3 values. One's a Zillow's estimate, another one's a composite, another one's from a third data source. We're adding 2 more, and you will get notified. Let me tell you about the process around notifications. If somebody just gives you their address, Derek, and they don't give you the email address on the next screen, you're going to get an email that says, hey, this person gave you their address, and we will cross-reference that with public data and look for their name, email, and phone. And if we can find it, it will be included in that email. If they go all the way and they give their email address, you're going to get a second lead notification that says, hey, this is a complete lead. Here's their address. Here's their email. Okay? Very simple process. We can run the social ads to this if you want, or you guys can come up here. You can copy your link. You can run your own ads if you'd like to as well. It's your choice. You can use this however you want. That's home valuation lead website. Buyer and seller analysis. I'm not going to cover this right now because it'll take a little bit of time. We had to build this for all of our out of country, like we're in Canada, New Zealand, Australia, a few parts in Europe. They do home valuation a little bit different than we do. They don't have the public data that the states do. So that's their option. You guys have access to those. If you want to learn about that, you can click that little I and we'll walk you through that demo right there. And you'll notice with every one of our cards, there's a little I for info up here. That's our help desk article for each one of these cards if you want to watch a video and learn about that. Let's talk about running ads. If you guys want us to run the traffic to your landing pages, here's how you're going to do it. You're going to notice right here, it says generate seller leads. This is how, and I'm not joking when I tell you this is how easy it is. You're going to click launch campaign. I want to spend $100, $250, or $500. Let's just spend $250. I want to run a home valuation campaign. I'd like to run it in a zip code. I'm going to type in my zip code that I want to run this in, 92011. You have the option to make this run every month or just a one-time ad. It defaults to one time. You can watch Sharon's video. He will actually walk you through the process. You're going to hit order now. Little overlay is going to pop up. You enter your email, your credit card number. Once you put it in there, we save it. You hit pay $250 and you're done. Nothing else you have to do. We do everything else for you. So let me explain what's going to happen. Our social media team is going to get a payload with your landing page, all your contact info, all that stuff. We're going to build a bunch of ads that will split test for you. We will launch them on your behalf. You'll get a receipt email from us. Then once the ad makes it to our social media team, which is within a couple hours, they get it and they start building it. You'll get another email that says it's confirmed they're working on it. Then when we launch the ads, you're going to get another email with the ad copy in it that says, congratulations, we're live. And then when we're done, you're going to get a report email. Now, the report email will include clicks and some other stuff. This is an old email, but it will remove the price of what you spent in case for some reason any of the push button ads you want to share with your clients. So you can say, hey, Derek, congratulations, or good news, I just ran an ad on your property. On this ad, 12,314 people saw it. We had 471 people actually click through the landing page. Of those 471, we generated 61 registrations. Of those 61 registrations, we had 14 conversations. Of those 14 conversations, we were able to get 3 showings. So again, start with a big number, get to the small number. Clients will love this stuff if you know how to pitch it right. Again, we'll show you how to pitch this all the time. So this push button architecture works for every push button ad we run. A receipt email, a confirmation email, a kickoff email with the ad copy included in there, and a results email with all the numbers. Now, a question you might be asking yourself is, can I customize the ad? And the answer is no, you can't customize the ad. I don't know why I drew on this. Is that my red line?
No, it showed up when you had the traffic thing, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's whoever drew that's a very beautiful red line.
Yes.
So that's going to happen when you run an ad. We don't customize it, and I'll tell you why. We have about, don't quote me on this, 5,000 plus or minus users on the platform, and we split test everything across multiple markets. The stuff that doesn't work, we turn off. The stuff that works, we scale. So in order for you guys to take advantage of what we run and how we split test, they're fixed ads. We get very little feedback of, Christy asked me, hey, I like the ad, but I want you to change this. We get very little of that feedback because at the end of the day, let the results come in and we'll go from there. So that's, Derek, go ahead.
Yeah, Keenan in Grand Junction just chatted a question in, and I was going through my mind too. How much of that, let's say it's a $250 purchase, how much goes into building the ad and how much goes into promoting the ad once it's out in the world?
That's a great question. So 90% of it goes to us and 10% goes to, I'm just kidding, that's not true. On every ad you run, no matter what part of the platform, it's a 75-25 split. I would tell you guys that probably 70% of the process is automated. The split testing part is not. We actually have real people that are here in our market that are looking at this every single day, and they're working through the split test. So 75% of the money will go towards traffic, 25% goes to hard costs.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, so that's a great question. I should have led with that. I normally do, I apologize. So that's generate seller leads. All of these are gonna go to your home valuation site, just so you know. So when you run seller leads, all of that traffic goes to your home valuation site. Let's say that you guys don't have any active listings or anything right now, but you want to run an ad and you don't want to run a seller ad. You're going to go over here to generate open house and property leads. Derek, there's a million ways I can do this with you. I'm not going to get into all of them right now, but same thing. Launch the campaign. You can watch another pretty video of Sharon walking you through this. I select $100, $150, or $200. This is going to be a 4-day campaign, just so you know. Write that down, 4-day campaign. I'm going to select a full property link, and let's say I have this one over here from Zillow. So let's say this listing over here in Zillow in San Clemente, I sold this back in, I didn't, but this was sold back in 12/29/2017, and I want to run an ad based on this. And you might be thinking like, wait a second, why would I run an ad to Zillow? Let me explain why in a second. So I'm going to take this link up here from the property. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to paste that link right here. I'm going to choose this is a listing sold. Doesn't matter when you sold it. And right here, I'm going to select, I want to run this ad starting the 17th. I hit OK. I hit order now. We need to say that you have authorization to run this ad because there's a lot of flexibility, Derek, in this ad platform. Yes, I have authorization. Continue with order. Same thing. Enter your email, enter your card number, and we're going to optimize the ad for you. The team will take the payload. Here's what they're going to build. They're going to build a squeeze page for you. See what your neighbor's home for, record sale on beautiful San Clemente home. They're going to enter their email. Once they do that, they hit see the home. It's going to take them to the Zillow site or whatever link you give us. You could give us one of your CB distinctive corporate sites. You could give us Zillow, Truly, a Realtor, your Boomtown site. It doesn't matter what the thank you page is because by the time I hit this site, I've already got the email address. So that's an easy way for you guys to take advantage of the push button ad structure right now. If you don't have any active buyers, active listings, or anything, you can run these right now. It literally takes 45 seconds to do that. Derek, this squeeze page that I showed you right here, we build this for them. They don't have to build this.
Awesome.
So same thing. If I look at it on mobile, it takes up the whole mobile screen. It converts very well. Again, if you write the copy good, which we do this one for you, I'll show you how you guys can build unlimited of these in a second. They convert very well. About 7.5% this is converting, Derek. So again, don't get wrapped up on when this home sold. This home sold back in December. I'd still run this ad today. Client doesn't know. Because by the time they look at this and they see the sold price, you've already got their email info. You can also run this for other people's open houses you are holding for them. right? So if you're holding an open house for another agent, you can use their link and run this, and you can squeeze it on there. Let's say that you love the squeeze page, but you don't want to run this. You don't want to run this ad. You just want to create your own squeeze page. So you're going to go over here to lead generation. You're going to click create manage squeeze page, and you'll notice there's 6 fields. You're going to fill out the label, the headline, and you'll notice when I change the headline, it will automatically add it down here. Subheadline, let's just type in subheadline so you guys know what that is. You'll see subheadline is right here, and again, we'll show you how to write these correctly. If you want to change the call to action, so insert call to action, you'll notice that changes right there. Get more, I don't know why you'd use that, but that changes the button right here. And then this is important. Where do you want that lead to go once they hit their info? And then you want to change the background image. Just for, I don't know why I do this, it's always worked really well with me, I use the blast image. You hit create, it's going to auto-populate these links down here. Go to visit, there's your squeeze page. It's that easy to build. So Derek, you might be wondering like, well, when would I use this? Let's say there's a really good article on Forbes that has to do with Grand Junction, and you want everybody else in your sphere to look at it, or you want to generate new social traffic around that, you would build the squeeze page and then share that with everybody. That's how they'd convert. It's a lot of different ways that you can do this. Again, with a pro account, you can create 400 of these a month. That's totally cool. There's no limit on that. Dick, before I move on, I know this is a lot, and I know I'm just like bulldozing this info, so you guys are probably crazy overwhelmed. I'm glad this is recorded, and I know you don't have access to this stuff, but when you do, hopefully a lot of this will make sense. Let me take a quick minute. That's probably easier to use the QA feature so I can see it, or the chat feature. Do you guys have any other questions so far? Cool, Christy, go ahead and unmute.
Do you have to enter your credit card information for every campaign that you run, or can you enter it in one place in the site and then just say, use my credit card on file?
That's a great question. So your credit card will be linked to your account only once you enter it once. It will be the same thing every single time. You'll still have to confirm the purchase, but the credit card will be auto-filled. And if you want I don't know how your team is structured, but if your agents are running ads out of their accounts, if you're paying for that, you would need to put your credit card in their account. That's on the agent level.
Okay.
Back to the first leads you were showing us that you can purchase. How do you see those? Does one get sent to you? I know you can't customize it. That's totally fine. But do I get to see what is out there on my behalf?
Yeah. So there's 2 things that we do right there. That's a great question, Derek. You're going to get a lead notification for everybody that subscribes. Right, so I go to a seller lead or a buyer lead. You're going to get an email notification sent directly to you. Says steve@kingstonlane.com. Just converted on this page. Here's the cool thing. I meant to have a demo of this up, Derek. I don't. I apologize. Underneath that, there are 2 buttons you can click right in the email that will put the script into a new email to that email address that you can send right off the bat. Wow. So there are scripts that we already know that work. You can click those right in the email, and it will send them the email right away. If you don't manage email, which I know all of you do, and you want to get your leads manually, up here there's lead generation, and you will see all your leads right here. Let me tell you 2 things that we are never going to turn into. We are never going to build a boomtown site. We are never going to be that type of platform, and we are never going to be a CRM. So those 2 parts of the business, Kingston Lane will never touch. We live in between there. If you guys are, do me a favor in the chat, give me a yes or no right now. How many of you guys use a CRM right now? Just give me a yes if you use one, or no if you don't use one in chat right now. Yes or no? Yes. Carla Cole, awesome. Yes. Oh, good, man. You guys have it down. You guys. The
That's
water
actually
must
how
be
Keenan
different.
says yes, by the way. Yes.
Yes. Okay, love it. Okay, so if you guys have a CRM that integrates with Zapier, Zapier is a connection portal that bridges one platform to another. You can map all these leads by clicking this link directly to your CRM. If you click what's this, we'll show you how to do it. If you don't have a CRM that connects with Zapier, no big deal. You're going to click export CSV. We'll give you an Excel file, and you can import those directly into your CRM. So pretty simple. You'll notice I have some leads right here that don't have an email address. Those are address-only leads. When you click the export button, you'll see those addresses in there. We're currently working on a fix to display those addresses right now.
And folks, if when he said the Z word, not Zillow, but Zapier, if that went over your head or you're like, what is that? That's upcoming on a fan club, okay? So Derek, does IQO integrate with Zapier? It's in the works. Thank you for asking questions that I don't know the answers to, Keenan. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and so if you want to connect yours with Zap, you got to click the help article right here where it says, what's this? We'll show you our help article. You can accept it's a private invite to activate your Kingston Lane Zapier. Even if you don't have a CRM that connects, there's a lot of cool automation that Zapier does. Like you actually can tell it to fire emails on your behalf on a schedule. So there's a lot you can do with it. Don't let that overwhelm you. Just play with it. Once you create your first app, it's pretty exciting. It's a one-time setup for every lead type. That's it. So you'll have to set this up, Christy, like, I don't know, 4 times or so. The reason earlier, Christy, I was telling you to run everything through your account is because if you generate all of your leads for the team in your one account, you can have Zapier send all those leads over to your CRM and then have the round robin with your team happen over there. Because that's not built into Kingston Lane, because again, we'll never be a CRM. If that's confusing, don't worry. We'll cover you on that, okay? All right, so the other push button things, very similar. Let's go back to the dashboard. We're in the home stretch. If you have a listing on here, this is where you're gonna run those push button social ads. Again, 50, 100, 200, 4-day campaign. You'll notice if I check new listing, that listing I showed you earlier automatically pops up there. I want this ad to start on the 21st. I hit okay, I order now. Disclosure, credit card pops up. I'm done, we build the ad for you. All the traffic for this ad goes to your property landing page with the squeeze overlaid. Good so far?
But again, that cannot happen unless you have put this listing into the Kingston Lane world, right?
Yeah. And you'll know, Derek, if that's happened because when you go to a new listing and you click here, nothing will show up, right? So that's how you know that is. You can run a new listing, a coming soon, a price change, a listing sold. And again, coming soon, it'll show all my coming soons right here. I select that. I want to launch this one on the 23rd. I hit okay, order now, good to go. We drive all the traffic. So if it's blank in there, that means that your opportunity that you put in the platform is not live. You need to go make it live.
What's the turnaround time for that?
So our commitment to you is that the quickest we will activate an ad is 48 hours. But I will tell you, Robert, that if you need it quicker, same day or the next day is very common because we just added a couple more people to that team. We're making some changes right now where, and I can't give you a time frame on this, but we'll push button social ads may launch within 60 minutes if you need to.
Did you see Christy's chat question there, Steve?
Yes. Yeah. Some other agents I've talked to, I'll tell you guys, have said that they want a lower spend on ads for open houses. Have you tested? Yes, we did test it. Christy, we tested a $25 ad spend, and don't ask me why. For some reason, Facebook needs a little time to season the ad to identify the audience. And if you spend too little, you're going to expire that seasoning before the momentum kicks in. We actually launched a year ago, I believe, don't quote me on this, I think it was 25, 75 and 150, and the $25 ads bombed. They did. And let me say that different. They didn't bomb. We couldn't prove platform-wide consistency with it. That's what I mean by they bombed. Very inconsistent results. So good question. Actually, the biggest part of feedback that we get is, can I spend more money than 200 and can you do it for longer? Not everybody does it, but we'll see some ads, Derek, that come through. We had one yesterday that as I was looking at the account, he spent $100 on a push button social ad and generated something ridiculous like 214 registrations. I think it was in Orlando, Florida. It was crazy. And that's not common, just so you guys know, right? That was definitely a unique property with a really good ad that hit. But we are seeing quite a few of those that just go nuts. So great question on that. So that's it. Sales pipeline. You guys know where that's at. I go over to sales pipeline. That just curates all your opportunities and builds that for you. It's not going to take into account your leads. It's only your buyer needs, pocket listings, coming soons, actives, pendings, and closed. That's where this reference. So if you want to know where your business is based on your goal, that's where that's going to show up. Buyers and sellers. This is all of the buyers and sellers on the entire platform. This is really good for referral placement. So you'll notice like 3818 Floral Drive in Los Angeles. Brian Hill has this listing for $659. You can click on that. We'll take you to the actual page. So you guys ever have to place a referral over in, Los Angeles, California, I would just do a Los Angeles, California search right here, and you'll know who has all the listings. That's how you refer out. So that's a really good feature too. Nothing that's going to part water for you, but that's what that is. So let's say that at any given time you guys have questions. Okay, there's a handful of ways you can get your questions answered, and there's no particular order. Way number one to get help is the Facebook mastermind group. That's Kingston Lane Mastermind. It's a Facebook group you guys can all join. You can ask questions there. Our tech support team will answer you. I will answer you. Sharon will answer you. All the other users will answer you. You can use that for whatever you want, masterminds, all that cool stuff. The second way you can do it is, like I said, every feature has this little eye. You can view all the help articles based on that feature at our kingstonlane.zendesk install, or you can click help and you say, I want a question around matches. So I'm going to type matches. I hit enter. All of our help things will come up here. Oh, this one's in regards to my sales pipeline. You can view all the data right here in here. Let's say that this still doesn't answer your question. You click contact us and your name, email address, all of that. And if we're live on chat, which most of the time during the day we are, you can chat with our support team right here, or it will submit a ticket and we will respond via email to that ticket. If you don't like that feature and you want to go like what we call old school, just send an email at support@kingstonlane.com and we'll open a ticket that way as well. So what I would encourage you guys to do, you're more than welcome to go to Derek or Todd or anybody else on the team and ask them questions. The quickest way for support is to lean on us for support because that's going to be the quickest answer to get back to you. Okay, so we're 10 minutes over. Question not necessarily KO specific, but you mentioned Vimeo. I'd like your opinion on whether you can have. Yes, so Christy, if depends on what your use is. If you want public momentum, like virality around your video, like if that's the type of videos you're creating and you want organic traffic to that, it's YouTube all day long. If you were only putting video up from a perspective of embedding it on your blog or this blog or this custom page or any of that, then I would go Vimeo, but you're going to pay a lot for that. That's how I'd use it first. 98%, just so you know, Christy, they go YouTube. We go YouTube as well, just so you know.
Yeah, Christy. Hey,
my husband's an artist and he thinks YouTube is a cesspool and I shouldn't have my videos and my nice houses on there. But
so artists, if you're an artist, 100% you would go Vimeo first.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to mention that, Christy. That's great. So Steve, I wish you could have been a little bit more informative here, but whatever. We'll just have to go to Facebook. No, I'm kidding. That was fantastic, folks. And Steve, hang with us for a few more minutes if you can.
Totally.
Teresa is going to walk us through what this looks like from our end. Okay, you just got the Kingston Lane, like yellow brick road. We're going to Oz, all that good stuff. But what is this going to even look like for us? So Teresa's going to give us some insights about launch and payment, like how we're making this happen for you. So without further ado, TP in the house.
Hey, thanks. So we are super excited to be partnering with Kingston and Sharon and Steve and Evan. They're just a great group of people. And we are going with, as Steve said, we're using the Kingston Lane Pro, which enables you to get more features. The cost of subscription for that is being covered by the company.
Sorry, what? What was that? The cost of that subscription is being covered by the company. What? Thank you.
You're welcome. We feel really strongly about the ability to add value and help you all generate leads and improve your business at a simple, easy to use platform. And so we're going to be covering the cost of the subscriptions. Any of the things that you do within the platform, that expense is borne by you, as Steve went through all the different click-throughs. The launch itself takes place on November 14th. That's Wednesday morning. So between now and Wednesday morning, Kingston Lane will get all of the information. They've already been provided it. They have your contact information. They have your name, your phone number, your email address. They are going to be sending out your activations. So it's super duper important for you to be paying attention and watching for those. On the 16th, we're going to do another fan club about Kingston Lane and having you folks participate. The Kingston Lane folks will not be there with us because we want to get your feedback on, have you jumped into it? What did you see? What are your questions? Blah, blah, blah. And then we'll circle back after the holidays and have another session with Kingston Lane for trainings, questions, and that gives you some time to get in there and just play around with it. We've had access for a little over a month, and it's just been amazing, the different things you can do. It's just so incredibly simple. and they give you so much information at a click of a button.
And squeeze pages. Come on. I mean, come on. We got squeeze pages.
All he's going to do all day now is do squeeze page on Facebook.
Hashtag squeeze page.
There you go.
So, you know, Wednesday morning, if you get up at 7 and you're like, where's my Kingston? Let's just all chill. But at some point on Wednesday, look for those emails. You'll probably get one from me that says, they've gone out. Hope you got them, and get through that. Sign up. And like, just get signed up so that our next fan club next Friday, you're already functional. You've played with it a little bit, and so on and so forth. And then my hope on the 23rd, what?
Yeah, sorry.
Not the 23rd because that's Thanksgiving, but on the 30th when we reconnect with Steve, is that some of you have done some things and we can learn best practices about what CBDP agents have done, what his thoughts are. Like, that was a waste of $100, or wow, you really nailed, whatever. Like, that would be awesome if we could hear some of that feedback, Steve. I did have a question, and it's probably not worth getting in the weeds, but maybe something to think about, Steve. Of course, you hear this all the time, but our company has big-time offices in Grand Junction, Montrose, and Bozeman, and we got all of us really special and really so different resort markets, of which I'm a part of, so I'm saying it's tongue-in-cheek. And I've had agents already say, I can't get leads. How am I going to generate leads in a town of 10,000, in a market of 10,000? So don't answer that now, but that's something I know that is on the minds of some of the agents. And I'd love if you have somewhere to point me or send me something offline to be able to combat that thought. Because
I'll just tell you right now, with all you guys watching this right now, the more unique the property, the better the property does. Like, from a social ad perspective. Now, I'm surprised none of you guys asked me this earlier, but Derek, if you give me like 20 seconds, I'll give you the short answer. When you run a push button social ad around a property, the team is going to start at 1 mile around the property. We had to remove age because we can't legally do that anymore, right? Protected class. And everybody who lives in that location. If we can get that number to about 15,000 or plus on the Facebook list, we'll run it. If we can't do that, we'll include everybody in the location. If that doesn't jack the audience up, then we're going to go 5 miles, and we'll keep going till we hit about 15 to 25,000 people. If for some reason we get to the end of what we normally do, Derek, and we can't hit that number, we're going to email the agent and say, hey, can you give us a custom audience of what you're thinking of, and we'll build that on your behalf.
Yeah, that's so cool, Steve. And so all of you in the resort markets, think of your feeder markets, and we've talked about this before, but send these ads to Denver or to Boise or Seattle. Like, don't necessarily get stuck in your couple of zip codes. So
the team's really good. And as you guys run the ads, they'll start to, Christina's our lead social media manager. She has a whole bunch of, like, I don't know if she uses Evernote or Google Docs or whatever it is, but she has like pages of notes saying, like, every time this agent runs, it's a unique market. This is how we run it. So they operationalize almost everything.
That's awesome. You've clearly thought of it.
Resort market, do you want us to give you our feeder markets that we want to push these campaigns to? Or
I would, Robert, great question. I would start with how we run it normally. If we can't hit the number, we go out, and here's why we do it this way. Even in, we have a lot of success with like $20 million listings in Newport Beach. Those ads do really well, and we're running those a mile around it. And the reason why we do that, Robert, because a lot of agents would say, well, hold on a second. What are the odds that somebody who, is going to buy a $20 million home lives within a mile of that home? And I would agree that it's probably slim to none. However, the people that will talk about that listing the most are the immediate neighbors, and that's why we do it that way. We get a lot of listing inventory there that you guys have the ability to take advantage of. If you just change your thought around, hey, this lead came in email only and it was on a property, so they're a buyer lead. They're not always buyer leads. A lot of these are seller leads, but they don't show up that way.
Yeah. Same reason you all send out the just listed postcards in your CV.
Exactly.
It's to get more traction in that neighborhood. You brought this one on, let me bring yours on too. So same thing. Okay, if you have questions about this even before the launch, maybe email them to me and I'll put a storehouse together so that next week we can have a pretty detailed conversation. But anything else for Steve before we let him? Well, it's only 11:30 in Southern California, so not lunch yet. But anything else for Steve? Either compliments, kudos, or questions about this product? Anything else? 2 thumbs up from Christy. If Christy's giving a 2 thumbs up, that's a seal of approval. And if Keenan's saying yes, that's a seal of approval. So Steve, just awesome stuff. More energy next time, but you know, you'll get better at this. We're sure of it.
Sure.
Folks, I'll send this to you soon. And last question, Steve. If someone's already a member, maybe this is for T, or maybe I'm opening the box. I don't know. If someone's already a member, what does that do? What does this look like for them?
It'll switch on. So if you're already a member and free, your account will automatically get upgraded to Pro. If you're already a Pro member, when we activate, do me a favor, and I want you to send me an email. And just so you know, if you guys send me support questions, it's just, I'm going to send it right to support because we have to go through a process here. But just let us know when we launch it, hey, I was already a Pro member. And if for some reason, Derek, I know this would never happen, but if the account stops and you go on your own or whatever that is, we will restart your time with your Pro account that you've already paid for.
Okay.
So you're safe with that $99 a year that you already paid. From an activation perspective, when we get the green light to say, hey, go ahead and turn them on, just so you guys know, everything's all set to go. We're going to click a button and all of you guys are going to be activated within a couple minutes of each other. So if somebody gets an activation email and you don't within, I'd say, their 10 minutes total window, then something's probably goofy and we'll solve it, but it'll all happen right away.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks so much. And thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll send this recording to all of you and talk this up. We had 40 people on at some point, so maybe 50 total, but that means 175 didn't get this message. Make sure if you're excited about this that you're talking it up with your colleagues in your offices, because this is a game changer. This is going to make everyone's 2019 have huge potential. So thanks, Steve. Great job. Thank you, Teresa and Todd and leadership for having the vision to throw this at us, and we're gonna make good things happen. I can feel it. So have a great weekend, everybody. Steve, thanks a ton. Thanks to Sharon and Evan as well. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks for the time, guys.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.